Electrical and electronics holding company Reunert has a market cap of nearly 14.4 billion rand, owns Nashua, CBI and Reutech, price to earnings ratio of 11.7 and a dividend yield of 4.4%. You can see I'm a little tentative on this sector. Hopefully we're going to get through the entire show without any major lapses. Paul, you want to take this one away?
Yeah, interesting group. Again, you know, it's sort of a cobbled together conglomerate. I mean, remember Nashua is rentals and equipment leasing, you know, like telecommunications equipment, photocopiers, that kind of thing. Nashua Mobile is in there. Remember, important business, significant introducer of both MTN, Vodacom contracts and also Cell C, so a non-network specific service provider. And then CBI. So CBI stands for Circuit Breaker Industries. They make all those little distribution board components which go into new homes and into factories, distribution boards, that kind of thing. There's also a business in there that manufactures electrical cable and optic fiber cable. A whole bunch of exciting stuff. The net result of which is not much. It has not been a particularly good performer over the years.
Tsepo, do you have the same level of enthusiasm? Is there an engineer in you somewhere?
No, there's a statistician in me. So I'm just looking at the numbers and seeing what the actual output is. Look, I think the vast majority of the revenue comes from the Nashua business. I think it's something like 62% of total revenue. So I think that's the big component of how well this business does. And we've seen that struggle a little bit in the last 6 months. So that speaks to a business that's actually not doing particularly well right now.
Anything else you want to add, Paul?
Look, it's a corporate conglomerate which came in for a bit of attention about 10 years ago. The Brait guys in their private equity days tried to have a go at them. Remember their CEO at the time, Gerrit Bull Pretorius, managed to fend them off. It's had management changes since then. Nick Wenzel was there for a while. The current CEO is Dave Rawlinson. They've done some tinkering with the portfolio. Remember they had that joint venture with Siemens, Nokia Siemens Networks, that's out. They also have that Grinica business, which is the old avionics and defense equipment business. I think it should do well. I mean, CBI has done well at certain points in the past. The electrical industry, remember, is going to benefit from massive spending that's just about compulsory with all of the municipalities. So African Cables should do well. I don't know. I just don't really understand why it doesn't really get much traction and never really seems to deliver much, and the market doesn't seem to like it. Normally, with a market cap of this scale, it ought to benefit from some sort of dynamism at some point.
Tsepo, it sounds as though it needs a great brand leader or investor relations person to take control. Opportunity out there for that type of person?
Look, I think that's one element of it. The truth is, if I look at operating income, it's really just above where it was in 2008. So the operational performance, whilst it's been steady, hasn't been phenomenal. And I think that speaks to why the ultimate stock market performance hasn't been that spectacular. So yes, on one hand, I think branding could improve, but I think operationally, it's been a little bit of a difficult environment.
So even with your value bias, you can't find much to say about this one.
Look, even with my
positive to say.
Even with my value bias, I think there's better opportunities elsewhere in the sector, and I think we'll touch on one or two other better opportunities.
Hot or not, Mr. Turan?
I think it all comes down to Nashua Mobile for me. I like the cell phone industry, as you know, but you do also know that the networks have been squeezing these guys, giving them less benefits, giving them less free, cheap phones, because the networks themselves have had that mobile termination rate thing to worry about. Data is not as attractive for these guys. So I think the net result of all of this, at $70, I'm afraid I'm still not hot on Reunert, no.
Mr. Madiba?
Look, this is one of the rare occasions where I'll agree with Paul. I think the Nashua Mobile component, you're really making a call on that, and I'd actually prefer to go directly to the market maker. So not hot.